Hello, all you fine folks. I am your horror host, Inkarnate. Well, actually, no. At this moment, I happen to be your control freak, Inkarnate. Sorry. Busy day for a Sunday. Let's get into it. So, I wanted to do an overcast for the recent December update for the Forever Winter. So this is a game that seemingly came out of nowhere. For me, anyway, I had not been following it too closely, and then late summer, early autumn is when it dropped onto my radar. I had been keeping an eye on it. I had heard other reviewers speak on it. So, for those not in the know, what we're dealing with here is a 4-player sci-fi tactical survival horror shooter. Mouthful, I know. So, you play as a scavenger, looting the dead in a future wasteland brought to ruin from war and famine. You're rummaging the battlefields, turned graveyards, and picking the pockets of the deceased, while enemy war machines pick the bones of a decayed world. So you're at the mercy of both synthetic life forms of cyborgs as well as organic threats that are looking to harvest you for organs, any loot you might have stolen, and turning you into one of their basically legionnaires of the undead, so to speak. So that piece of it, you can see where the horror aspect comes into play. You are not only at the best case scenario for you is death, which absolutely is a traumatizing prospect. And I'm happy that something like this, I'm happy whenever any kind of horror game or film gets some kind of notoriety, but people seem very optimistic about this and hopeful. They're very intrigued by it. So I always think that that's a great thing. I'm happy for it. However, in the months since it first hit early access, the jury is still out on this one. As much as people like it and think it has potential, it's that last part that people have taken issue with, the potential. Now, you might be asking, why would that be the case? Well, I have heard some live streamers and reviewers mention that they've seen, what they've seen so far is a good start, but only a start. And it has a long way to go to be a complete game, a complete package, and fulfill its promise. So, it's up to me, your control freak Inkarnate, to render verdict. So, tell you what, how about we take a look at the trailer for this December release, and we find out for ourselves. And 1 second while I boot this up, and let's take a look-see. Okay. I really like the atmosphere of this game. Okay, audio is good. Yeah, I mean, really look at how you might have dark colors but not muted colors. And I say that just because, from the genre that is from the genre that we get with what do you call it, post-apocalyptic, there are times, well, I can't say times, it's often the case where the visuals that you're looking for or looking at just appear very bland. And obviously we will get that with this game, but I like how it's not an aesthetic that's gray washed out. Like, it just gets so boring with that. So I like that this game does include color, and believe me, it's obviously not bright and shiny. But I do like that we get color from it. It's wild to me that we'll get back to this trailer quickly soon. It's wild to me that that kind of started in the late 2000s with so many, dark future films that we were getting in cinema. But you have to remember that, like, we entered the HD era between 2005 and 2008. So for that to go in concert with desaturated colors, and colors just weren't popping in our visuals in any type of media, whether it games or cinema or television. It was very odd timing. So I'm glad that that's not repeated here for the Forever Winter. And it might sound silly to mention, but I think that's one of the aspects that catches my eye, obviously, and goes a long way towards just drawing the intrigue with it. But my point is, it's not the only aspect of this game. So let's continue. Like this here, like even a factory through the use of color is intriguing. 1 second, because I'm not getting audio on my stream. But yeah, I very much like, and I do like that they do have a factory area. I think that's kind of cool. 1 second, just want to make sure that I'm able to hear this. And I like that, you wouldn't think that, how can I put it? You wouldn't believe that something like this would, the gunplay and the like, you wouldn't think that this is something that... Okay, now it's playing. Sorry about that. You wouldn't think that something like this would be... would fit into survival horror, but it actually does, and I'm glad that it does. I'm glad that it does, and I'm glad that people care enough about it that they are interested in it, and it's gaining, popularity, notoriety. Let's fast forward to where we were. Okay. Haha, I like that multiple targeting. Ooh. So, see, that I also like, that aspect that we just saw, because, it can be the case where we get different kinds of creatures that we have to contend with, and by creatures I mean like robots that how can I say it, appear anamorphic. And to me, that's a level of intrigue, and believe me, we'll be seeing more of that. So let's keep it going. Yeah. That I really like. What we just saw right there, trench, like when do you see trench warfare in a game like this, in a post-apocalyptic game? So it's little touches like that, and playing with the environment that I think is key. And you obviously they're going to show, how can I put it? They're going to show aspects of the gameplay where it's, just full and heavy artillery and guns blazing. But one thing that has been mentioned is how combat is near constant. Now, you might say that will obviously detract from the game itself, or the horror aspect of it in service of action. But keep in mind, you're not flight or fight is very much a part of this game, in the sense that you're not always looking to pick a fight. You are a scavenger after all. So the danger posed to you might be in evading the actual battle in the hopes of garnering resources. So I do like that aspect about it. Like, you can be outnumbered, outgunned, but your mission is resource collection, which I genuinely think that's cool, because that does get overlooked oftentimes with the war games that we're usually playing with. So let's continue. That right there. Sorry to pause so quickly afterwards, but when I first saw this, what we just saw, the looting and shooting amidst headstones, that's cool. That's something that we haven't seen, like not even in, you know, typical post-apocalyptic films or games that deal with like cyborgs or something like that. That to me was like a money shot. While delivering kill shots that I really liked. Just, you know, that a battleground can happen anywhere and at any time, and the fact that there's shooting amidst a graveyard is something unsettling, truly. And again, like, look at the use of not just color, but lighting. It's not bland and it's not, you know, redundant or boring to look at. Obviously, you're going to have dark colors and you're going to have a certain level of desaturation with the palette. But their use of lighting serves to brighten up the image that we're looking at. Frozen swamp. Yeah, this is like the thought of something like a frozen swamp to me is intriguing because again, it's not something that you would be accustomed to in this type of scenario. So again, like the factory setting wasn't redundant, and I like that there are multiple levels to it in terms of verticality, which is also important. So let's see what they have in store for this map. Oh, that's unsettling. Again, look at... Okay, so obviously this is much more of a misty type of environment, but... And there is some grayish type coloring here, but it's a teal color. So I like that aspect of it, that it's still interesting to look at and not what you would expect from this type of genre. So let's keep watching. Mist, muck, factories, drones. That's another aspect that I like. I do like that your threats can not only come from surface level, but also from the skies. And I do like that they have they do keep a helicopter around, like some vehicle that is reminiscent of war in our time. That goes paired very well with the other vehicles that you have to contend with. Oh, damn. Jesus, this guy, look at all the things that you're carrying on your back. It's like he's carrying a pharmacy back there. But you are a scavenger. Oh, here we go. Tell me that ain't the stuff of nightmares. That chittering sound and the fact that there's like multiple crawly legs on it and it hovers. Oh my god. As if... you know, animals like mosquitoes aren't terrifying enough. And imagine if they're out, if they can outgun you and they're the size of a car and chasing after you in the air. Yep. Here go your mechs. So this is what this is more of what I was referring to, you know, terror from above. I this is something that, while you're focused on the ground, moving from one place of cover to the next, you can very easily forget about aerial threats. And we've seen that hovering gun drone, and of course this mosquito drone. So, while you're trying to loot corpses, it can be very easy to forget about any threats from above. And I'm curious as to whether or not they are silent in game and they can sneak up on you that way. So you'll obviously have threats not just from whatever this enemy is, but also most likely other enemy scavengers as well, which is what this person, this player is contending with. Look at that. That's beautiful. Drill device consumable. I'm guessing a hacking mechanic. Ah, very nice. Base defense, invasion proof. Good stuff. Yeah, so as you can see, there's a whole rollout of weapons, consumables, junk, and large items. Before I forget, one added aspect of just the survival mechanic is that, and this is going to be part of the December update, is one of the resources that you have to manage is water. And I really like that because a lot of times in these survival games, you have to be able to barter with bullets. You have to be able to manage resources in a way that you haven't before. And I really like that. I like that aspect about this game. Because it adds just another aspect of resource management, and it really shows the level of desperation that you have to endure while in this situation. When I played Fade to Silence about a year or 2 years ago, during my first winter stream warning, my winter event of playing survival horror, one thing that you would have to, or many things that you would have to manage while playing Fade to Silence was resource management. So like wood and meat and little things in order to keep survivability. And it has to be dry wood. So little things like that I do like because it really puts you into this this world where little things that we would take for granted are required for survival. Hub customization. Nice. Defense turrets. That's really cool. New lore giver, Lordos. So yeah, as you can see, this update that dropped this month is pretty extensive and across the board, from maps to resources to even this lore giver. So from what I have read, from the research I've done, the developers of this are taking fan feedback. So that potential that I spoke about at the beginning, it does seem like the developers, the people behind the scenes, are really taking feedback into account and really trying to do their best in order to make sure that fan demand is met, and that they're not losing momentum, you know what I mean? Because it can't, hey, we've all seen movies, TV shows, video games that, yeah, they sound promising, but obviously to be able to adjust on the fly is something that people, that the creative team for whatever type of media, hey, they just may not be interested in it. They would have their idea for whatever story they're trying to tell. They stick to it, and you know, we either see the results, or if it's not to our liking, we don't stick around to see the results. So I am happy. Shout out to the developers. that they are making adjustments and needed adjustments and taking fan feedback and taking it seriously. Oh god, what the hell? And in this game, you can be converted into a cyborg to work for the enemies. Bug fixes, of course. It's always good to see. Water, here we go, here you go. Water-based invasions. And that's a December update. So yeah, all good things that I've seen out of this. Now, to me, and I mentioned this during our watch of this video, this is how you do post-apocalyptic. There was nothing more bland for my taste in the 2000s cinema than that gray washout of films I was talking about that were set after the collapse of civilization, like your Terminator Salvation, The Book of Eli, War of the Worlds, Resident Evil Extinction, excuse me, or the industry saturation of zombie games from the 2010s. Oh man. And the Forever Winter, it looks like the Terminator movie we never got, or the game that Death Stranding was supposed to be. So I'm liking what I see here, and in the vein of games like the Stalker series or the Metro 2033 franchise, I genuinely think that this, if they keep at it, if they add nuance, if they're able to build out their fan base, get the support that they need, and really deliver, or I should say, if they're able to deliver on their promises, I think that once this gets out of early access, I think that this really could be something. I think that, and I'm not to be repetitive, but the potential absolutely seems to be there. And as you heard me speak on throughout this Overcast, their aesthetic is key, and I give them a lot of credit. I give them kudos for that, because the worst thing that you would want is for all the effort that they're putting in to go to waste just because of the visuals. I would like to see more of the enemy threats, because there is word of like these giant, what do you call it, Titan-looking creatures that like scour the battlefield, but unlike you, who are the player is scouring the battlefield for resources and tools, they're looking for survivors or even some corpses in order to harvest your organs. And if that's not terrifying enough, it's the factories that are creating even more war machines with which to continue this this battle and perpetuate the Forever Winter. So I'll be doing more of these, and by more of these, I mean not only weighing in on my thoughts with any video updates for the Forever Winter, but any video updates that come out for other games. Like, to give you an example, there have been updates recently, even this month, to Dead by Daylight and Hunt Showdown, so I myself will be on the hunt for any horror games that have video updates like this, and I hope that you, much like me, will be rooting for the Forever Winter. But that's pretty much, those are my impressions. Feel free to let me know about yours, what you think of this, whether you think that you are following this along, whether or not, much like me at the tail end of the summer, if this is your first time hearing about the Forever Winter, have you been tracking its progress? Have you played it? Absolutely be sure to let me know. But this will be it for my Overcast coverage of the updates to the Forever Winter. I've been Inkarnate from the Mind Games, and bidding you all farewell. Until next time. If you're resigned to your fate, time to subscribe to your fears.
Come and play with us. Forever. talking about the monsters?
Monsters?